The UFC has recently dropped its new UFC 280 poster featuring Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. The card is one of the most highly anticipated of the year and features 2 title fights, as well as another exciting bout from the bantamweight division, including a former champion. Today, we're discussing the UFC's recent poster release, plus other bits and pieces from the event and around the UFC. Don't go anywhere. Let's get straight into it then. What's going on? The lightweight division might not currently have a champion, but that doesn't matter as the title is on the line at UFC 280 and is still top of the bill. Former champion Charles Oliveira will take on Russian grappler Islam Makhachev to see who is top dog in the division, and we now have a poster for the event. Of course, the 2 lightweight contenders are top of the bill and occupy top spot on the poster, but they're closely followed by the bantamweight title fight, which will feature current champ Aljamain Sterling, who will face off against drug cheat TJ Dillashaw. There will also be an intriguing matchup between former bantamweight champion Petr Yan and the hype train that is Sean O'Malley. The main event will feature Makhachev and Oliveira in what some fans are suggesting could be one of the greatest grappling fights of all time. The co-main will feature former 2-time champion TJ Dillashaw, but some have questioned why he has gotten a title shot after just 1 win following his return from a 2-year ban. However, arguably the most highly anticipated is O'Malley and Yan. As a former champ, Yan goes in as a favorite, but many people are interested to see how O'Malley handles the serious step up in quality. Which fight are you guys most looking forward to? Give us your thoughts below. So what else do we know about the card? Stay tuned to find out. Of course, the 3 fights we have already mentioned are good enough to headline most events in their own right, and the rest of the main card could also possibly say the same. Belal Muhammad, who is currently on an 8-fight unbeaten run, is out against unbeaten 15-0 fighter Sean Brady, who has a ton of hype around him just like Sugar Bean. Beneil Dariush, who hasn't been seen since his unanimous decision win against Tony Ferguson more than a year ago, will also be out against the tough Polish fighter Mateusz Gamrot. Both of these bouts will inevitably reorder the rankings in both the welterweight and lightweight division, respectively, and we cannot wait to see what happens in both. Also on the card is a highly anticipated women's flyweight title fight between number 1 ranked Katlyn Chookagian and the much-fancied French striker Manon Fiorot. Volkan Ozdemir will also have a quick turnaround after being spotted against Paul Craig last month. Given the fact that Craig was mostly attempting takedowns, Ozdemir came through that one relatively unscathed, which is why he's able to turn out again in October. Another fighter with a quick turnaround is Muhammad Makhachev, who was also out on the same card as Volkan last month. He will take on Malcolm Gordon, who is currently 2-2 in the UFC. Which fight are you guys most looking forward to? Let us know below. Next up, Dominick Cruz has been speaking about his loss to Chito Vera this past weekend. Ecuador's Chito Vera won his 2nd fight in a row via head kick KO this past weekend, taking out a former champion in the form of Dominick Cruz in the process. And taking to Instagram yesterday, Cruz thanked his fans for all their support. The 2-time bantamweight champion was acquitting himself well before being caught by a heavy head kick, which abruptly ended his evening's work. Cruz posted a picture of himself on the popular photo-sharing app saying, "I'm grateful to all of you who came out on Saturday and for all the love and support here. The body feels great and I'm thankful for my health. I'll be seeing you all next up on September 10th at the desk." It's unknown where Cruz will go from here, as he is now 37 years old and has a blossoming career as an analyst to focus on once he does decide to hang up the gloves. Vera, on the other hand, is on a completely different trajectory and is being spoken of as a potential future bantamweight champion, given the fact that he has taken out some heavy hitters such as Frankie Edgar, Cruz, and Sean O'Malley. However, the Cruz win is almost certainly the biggest of his career, and the future is very bright for the talented Ecuadorian. Do you guys think Vera has what it takes to become bantamweight champion? Give us your thoughts below. Vera has also reiterated his recent claims on Cruz's style. Stay with us. Shortly after his win over Dominick Cruz on Saturday night, Marlon Vera claimed that Cruz's odd style wasn't the best style for MMA, which many thought was too soon after knocking his opponent out. However, appearing on Helwane's The MMA Hour podcast yesterday, August 15th, Vera clarified his comments but didn't apologize or take them back. He claimed he respects Cruz for what he did for the sport, saying that Dom made bantamweight cool as he brought the division up. However, he went on to explain those low-level comments he made shortly after the bout, saying, "Talking about fighting technique, it doesn't matter what your style is. We've got a guy like Israel Adesanya. He's very flashy, he's very technical, but he has a real solid base. His technique is sharp as expletive, but he's really flashy. With Dominic, the the movement that he does, me and my coaches, we think that's a low-level style to do MMA. It's just our opinion. It's not a fact, but maybe we prove it because of the way that we finished him. Cheeto went on to say that he wasn't saying Cruz sucks, just that those movements he has become so synonymous with don't particularly work for MMA any longer. Vera then went on to suggest that Cruz's style is different than moving your feet correctly, describing it as doing crazy back and forth. Do you guys think Cheeto has a point? Give us your thoughts below. Jen Jones's coach has been speaking out now. Stick around. Jones is rumored to be taking on one of either Stipe Miocic or Francis Ngannou in his first heavyweight bout later this year, and his coach Brandon Gibson believes his man has what it takes to beat either of the two. Speaking to Submission Radio recently, Gibson said, "Stipe is the greatest UFC champion in heavyweight history," before going on to list all of his attributes. He then moved on to describe Francis's size as the X factor, saying his size, his strength, and he can sleep anybody from any stance, from any angle. He doesn't need to be balanced or be punching off his back foot. It doesn't matter. They both have their challenges and their own unique ways, and we're going to have to take each of them very differently. Very differently. However, he was supremely confident that whoever Jones ends up fighting, he will be the one celebrating come the end of the fight, saying, "There's nobody like John at heavyweight." Of course, he's probably correct, but at that weight, it only takes one shot and you can easily go to sleep. Gibson went on to explain there is nobody as dynamic, as fast, as gifted in all the disciplines like John is, and his IQ is off the chart. Not to say that these other guys aren't smart, brilliant fighters, but John Jones' IQ and comprehension of his game is unlike anybody else's in the world. Do you guys agree? And finally, Shane Burgos has found a new home. Popular New Yorker Shane Burgos, who held an 8-3 record during his time with the UFC, has announced that earlier this week that he has moved on to the PFL. Speaking on Ariel Helwani's The MMA Hour podcast on Monday, August 15th, he announced that his last fight, a win against Charles Jourdain, was actually the last one on his current deal and he would not be renewing. He revealed that he was eager to test the waters of free agency, claiming he knows exactly what he's worth, before telling the esteemed MMA journalist that he had decided to sign with PFL. The outfit is famous for paying their fighters much more than the UFC, and Burgos admitted that the decision wasn't an easy one, before saying he had his family to think about, which makes perfect sense. He is risking his life going into the octagon, so he should pursue other possible contracts before blindly signing with the UFC just because it has brand recognition. I mean, what would happen if he was seriously injured or had to retire from the sport thanks to injury? On a UFC contract, he would most certainly have to look for work elsewhere, probably not with the PFL. What do you guys make of Burgos' decision? Let us know below. As usual, thanks for dropping in today, and remember to tune in again next time when we will be discussing all sorts of different bits and pieces. And why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video while also subscribing to our channel. Bye guys.